I had a tragedy with Atlantis, Take Your Last Breath. I was deleting folders of old builds, and I didn't know it, but Atlantis was in the folder. So it was a saved game under builds, and I accidentally deleted it. So we are starting Atlantis all over again. Now, obviously, I have a few spoilers, like I know where there's a ravine, and I know where there's some easy coal, and I know where there's a chest of goodies. And oh, by the way, I'm recording the settings on Optifine because I want you guys to tell me if I'm setting things properly to get the best recording. Highest frames per second, least amount of garbage, like who needs animated lava, and especially who needs animated water when it's broadcast underwater, right? When the whole map is underwater. Seems like a lot of extra stuff for my computer to have to handle. So please go over these settings and let me know if I'm setting things properly, because I'm sort of guessing in some cases. Like, should it be on at max FPS, or is that absolutely the worst possible thing I can do? So Atlantis got deleted, darn it, and I had such a nice cow and pig and sheep farm, and I was starting to make progress. I'd even planted my jungle tree. I have some video, some footage of the last episode, but it's kind of like, I started looking at it this morning and I was just like depressed, because I didn't want to see my poor little animals that are gone. And I'd even built a golem, you guys, a golem. Oh well, an iron golem. I had enough iron. So we're gonna start over. If I can figure out how to press the button. You get all hopeful at first because, oh look, sunlight, and then it's like, oh, well, okay. So here we are in the little dome underwater, looking through the chest, and I've edited this a lot. It was actually about 30 minutes of video. First thing I did was put down the grass block, because as soon as I get some more dirt, I'm going to start migrating the grass, because that's really important, because as soon as I get bone meal, I can get seeds, and that means wheat, and that means cows, and seeds mean chickens. And since I know there's a goodie chest not too far away, out in the water, oh, so I have to have torches or I'll smother, because I don't want to take my bucket outside, because if anything happens and I do drown, there's a bucket in that starter chest. But if anything happens and I do drown, I don't want to have to try to fetch that bucket again. You know, I don't want to lose stuff that I can't really live without. And the bucket makes life so much easier. So once again, digging under the house. Not breaking any blocks because I don't have any wood to make a pickaxe yet. So I'm digging under the house and risking drowning and whatnot, so that I can get to wood from underground, because it's easier to break wood. Now I'm checking, I'm making a tunnel to go to the wood. There's a huge jungle biome right here. So it's easier to get the wood from an air block than from a water block. So I found a nice tall tree, and I'm just kind of building a tube up around it, so that, and then putting blocks underneath myself so that I can reach the wood above me and then plunk a piece of dirt. Oh, I'm doing this so I can show you how you start to drown punching wood in water blocks. And even when you're drowning, you can still punch the block. But if I were swimming outside and doing this without a torch, there's no way I could make it back to an air block quickly enough to keep from drowning. So, yeah, I'm collecting some wood and making some sticks, and I'm gonna make me this is under the structure I was spawned in. Make me a furnace so I can make charcoal, so I can make torches, because this video is kind of dark, of course, and also I'm going to be digging out far enough that I'm going to have to worry about cooties. Because it occurred to me last time I played, I made a mistake in not seeking mobs out quickly. Because mobs are, of course, useful for drops. And if I got a carrot or a potato off a zombie, or gosh, iron, and especially if I got bones for bone meal to start growing things right away from skeletons, That would be very useful. You see, I'm not very far away from the dome where I started, but I'm going out. I'm going out, and that means mobs will spawn because they'll be more than 16, is it, blocks away from me. So it occurred to me that I really need to concentrate on, like you would in Skyblock, as soon as possible, building a mob spawner. I'm trying to light a cigarette, and it's a bum lighter. I don't recommend smoking. If I saw somebody smoking that was a kid, I'd tell them not to. I was addicted to cigarettes when Mom was pregnant with me, so I've been around cigarettes all my life, and it's just, I guess I was addicted at birth. I don't know. So here I am making me my first charcoal, so I can get me some torches. And also so I can cook once I get some fish. You get a fishing pole. The problem is trying to rig something so that you can catch fish, because if you just try to fish out the door, you might catch fish. I've had experience with this. You might catch them, but pulling them back inside is difficult, and going outside and floating around looking for them is even more difficult. So I got down to like one meat pop left, and I finally got a fishing pond built. I recommend it be about 8 blocks long and 2 blocks wide. It should probably also be 2 blocks deep so that the hook doesn't get hooked onto blocks, because I think that takes wear and tear on your fishing pole every time you pull it in, and if it's hooked on a block, you won't catch a fish. It has to be bobbing. The bobber has to bob. Going back to where I'm starting to farm wood and building it deeper. I haven't even finished digging the gravel up from under the house. Now I'm digging up to expose the spawn area so that I'll have natural light coming down below. Plus there's a piece of glowstone up there, so that'll help a lot. Going to set my spawn. That's the end of the first day. And I'm not having any luck with lighters. Migrating the grass, and I've got my fishing thing in. Look at my meat pops. Look at my health. All that hopping around, especially underwater, it's not the swimming. Swimming doesn't take anything away from you. It's the hopping up and down, trying to get in the door and that sort of stuff. That'll just wear you out. And I've got enough charcoal now that I can cook fish, because cooked fish give you more saturation and restore more meat pops than raw fish. I did have to, in desperation, eat 2 raw fish just so that I wouldn't starve to death, because even though I'd set my bed and stuff, I don't want to have to die and respawn. So my game mode settings are on easy. This map was built for 1.5.1, so I'm playing on that, which is hard enough. The skeletons are intense. Plus, since I'm in a jungle biome, I have to constantly be aware of creepers. It would seem that creepers spawn a lot more frequently in jungle biomes, and a lot more quickly than other mobs. That's just my personal experience. I don't, your mileage may vary. So that's the end of the second day. I planted my oak sapling. I'm 8 blocks down. And, the oak sapling is. Here's my mob grinder at the end of where I was digging for wood. And believe it or not, I went down here 3 times. I filmed it, that I would see creepers, and by the time I got there, because, it takes me a while to do stuff, because I was building that little tunnel there on the right, that little tunnel, every time I'd get to my mob grinder, the dang creepers were despawned, darn it. So right around spawn, when you dig down a little bit, there's plenty of coal. I'm trying to dig over to that treasure chest so I can get my mob eggs and stuff, because I'd like to start spawning animals as soon as possible. So we're starting Atlantis all over, and I'll try to be more thorough about documenting the challenges and so on than I was the first time. I'm so sorry I lost my world. Thanks for watching. Bye.